Hey, hello, come back in. I'm so happy that you've come back in to see us today. Today I have a power couple, an amazing power couple. They understand actually they're trendsetters and they understand their power through the love of Jesus Christ. I'm excited for you to hear them speak today. We'll be back in just a second. Hello. We're so glad you came back in to join us today. Today, I have a power couple with us that I am delighted to have. This couple continually amazes me in the way they are able to move by faith and not by circumstances. Day after day, they light up the world around them with their kindness, goodness, and mercy. I want to introduce to you Clay and Jessica Whitehead. Yay! I'm so glad to
Hello.
see you too. Um, I'm going to ask my first question to Clay. Clay, since we're on a recording and you're kind enough to speak with us today, Clay, would you tell us what kind of adventure your family's headed for?
So we're just on a crazy adventure with the Lord. It's totally a faith journey. So we pretty much gave away everything that we own except for 9 suitcases, our backpacks, and our Suburban. And we're moving to Italy. So that's where the Lord's called us. And when we get to the airport, we'll give our Suburban away.
Um, to just anybody you want to.
To anybody we want to. Whoever the Lord says.
That is precious in every way. Jessica, I know that you are a mom, a wife, a businesswoman. Would you tell me how the journey went in accepting this process with picking up your children, you're letting go of your home, how you and God worked that process out?
I would love to. I think that God started preparing me a really long time ago. Um, Honestly, I think that it was just, I think He put it in me, and it's always been there to love adventure and to be spontaneous. But we haven't, as a family, really done anything super adventurous or spontaneous. We just kind of got into the routine of the everyday of doing school. We homeschool, so we would do school. Clay would go to work. We would do breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And church. So we always just did our routine. But deep down, I knew since before I got married, when I was a teenager, that my heart was for missions, and I knew that I wanted to
Ah,
be a part of whatever God was doing in the nations, but also, around me. So we did that for a really long time, just whatever God was doing around us. And I knew that our future was going to be in other nations. I knew that that was going to be part of our future. We just didn't know when. I didn't know if it was going to be when the kids were little, or if, when they were gone, and it would just be the two of us. Um, but it took a long time. Having said that, I've always loved traveling and wanting to go. It's always been in my heart to want to go, but I stopped really going when we had kids, because I knew that I needed to be home for the kids, and I was either always pregnant or always nursing, and I knew that it was going to be hard to leave, and also as a mama, I just didn't want to leave the kids. So Clay went on some trips without me, uh, but our youngest is 7 now, and so it just when God convinced me, and it took some convincing, because I was, I've got 5 kids, and to take our whole family, and to just, this is a huge jump of faith. I just wanted to be completely sure that this is really what God was wanting to do. Because I don't want to do anything that's not God. I don't want to do my own thing, because I know that there's protection under what God wants. And I don't want to step out of that. So, or out from under that. So as soon as I was convinced that it was God, then I was all for it. And it was, we went through a process of him disconnecting me from things, from stuff.
Yeah.
And so it was really easy just to get rid of everything. It was
Aw.
easy because he had just already done that in my heart. And I've never really been attached to stuff anyway. So, like I said, I think he prepared me a long time ago. I've just never really been attached to stuff,
I,
material things.
I
So,
think that's a quality that both you and your hubby have, that not attached to things, but beautifully attached to people.
yeah.
It's obvious just spending time with you that you can let go of things, but spiritually the two of you hold on and encourage everyone around you. It's awesome.
Well,
Jessica,
stuff is just stuff.
Yeah.
stuff is just stuff. Jessica,
People are eternal.
you said, oh, that's truth. That's truth.
Mhm.
Jessica, would you just tell us again your children's names and their ages? I mean, not again, but because I'd like the audience to know that.
Sure. Jakin is our oldest, and he's 17. Then Abigail is 15. Judah is 11. I had to think a minute. Uh, Lily is 9, and Faith is 7.
Excellent in every way. And uh, Clay, would you tell me how you told your children that we were getting rid of stuff and moving? How'd that happen?
That was a pretty good, when we started seeing all the whispers from God, I started picking up on it. Jessica was more leery, so she didn't get on board quite as soon as the children. The children early on were like, "Yes, we're moving to Italy." They got it right away, which I think is, that's one of the things about the kingdom, is being childlike is important, because you can just say, "Yes, God, I believe you." Whatever he says, you're just like, "Yes, okay." And
Exactly.
so they were really easy to pick that up. It took more convincing for us, I'm sure, especially Jessica. She's a little more cautious in that area, but yeah, so that's kind of how it worked out.
Excellent. Jessica, I want you to I want you to tell me what your favorite thing about Clay is.
My favorite thing about Clay. Oh, let's see. Oh, that's hard.
It's hard to
Uh,
find something.
no, it's not. No, it's not hard to find something, but there's just several things. And so to like narrow it down to just one,
Oh, you can narrow it down to 14 if you need to.
do we have time for that? Um, I love, I love how practical he is.
Mhm.
Okay, I gotta do two. So I love how he's so practical, and okay, maybe three. Um, he's always steady. He's like a rock, and in that he's very steady. He's not dramatic,
Ah,
which is good because I am dramatic for the both of us and our children, and some of the children are dramatic. So, but he's just this rock solid, steady guy in his faith, and he's unwavering. And I love that he researches everything. Like he's just always hungry to know more. And he thinks of
excellent.
something and he digs until he's satisfied with what he's learned. And that is amazing because he does that with the Bible and with the things of God in the kingdom. And then he unloads it on all of us. I say unload, that sounds kind of bad. He like teaches us, like
He
he just,
downloads it.
yeah. And it's good because we, the kids and I learned so much just from him. He's really good about learning about something and then spitting it back out. I'm not good at that. I regurgitate information terribly, but he's so good at it. And he just brings this steadiness to our family,
Excellent.
and a lot of information, and I love it.
Okay,
It's deep.
Clay, it's your turn. Clay, tell me what your favorite thing about Jessica is.
There is so much that I love about Jessica, truthfully. So I'll probably give a couple because I think they probably are lumped together, and she's so optimistic about other people and their motives. So she has like this really pure I don't know what you would call it, just outlook on people. She sees the best in everybody. Like literally, you could drive by and you see the devil out there calling, he's like throwing fireballs at people, and she would look over there and just smile at him and be like, maybe he's just having a bad day. And I'm like, oh my gosh. I'm losing my shoes, and she's just handling it so well. And so I love that, which I think goes along with love. And so she's so loving, and she genuinely loves people and cares for people. And
Yeah.
that, man, I wished I had that a lot of times, because sometimes I don't have that.
I think the two of you have the gift of hospitality in the sweetest, kindest way. I come pouring in with all my junk sometimes, and you just make room for me. You make room where there shouldn't be room and where you shouldn't have to, and you make room for me. And the children, I really want to brag on your children. I've not been around a family where every child comes up to the guest, speaks to them, looks in their face, speaks to them, and hugs them. At their going and their coming, when we're going or coming, when I'm coming in or leaving, all 5 of them do it continually. I've visited you enough through these last few months to see that they're sincere about it, and it's such great training you gave them. It's awesome. I love that. Okay, now I'm going to shift gears for a second. I'm going to put on my glasses and read this to you. I did a lot of research to find out what it is that women are whining about, seriously, to their psychiatrists, their psychologists, their Bible, their pastors, their best friend. And these are the things that most women say they would like to find in a marriage. They would like there to be more intimacy emotionally. They'd like there to be more praise from the man. They'd like to be felt like they were part of the team, or they want to feel protected and defended. And sometimes they would really like it if their husbands would just open up and be a little more vulnerable to them. So of those that I just read to you, Jessica, which one of those do you really feel like is necessary for your marriage?
Which one?
Or, okay, yeah, tell me what, now that you know that lots of women are asking these things, they're talking to their psychiatrists, psychologists, pastors, counselors, life coaches. Those are the resounding things they're asking for. Are any of those things you need, or what is it that you need in a marriage from
I
Clay specifically?
I think I would agree with all of those things. And I have to say that over the past few years, our marriage has grown a lot. We've been married almost 20 years, and
No.
last few years, those things that you mentioned have all been addressed.
Wow.
And I probably for the first 15 years of our marriage, I would have agreed with those women in saying I needed all those things also. But in the last few years, I feel like our marriage has grown so much because I have received all of those things Clay has. I mean, I don't think that we talked about those like specifically, like, hey, I need you to do this and this and this, but just in being more emotionally intimate, and it was a process and a learning, thing
Right.
that we just over a long period of time just kind of evolved into we do that for each other without asking really, um, without asking specifically, but if we're feeling a lack in one of those areas, um, we kind of make that known. But it just kind of happened. And one day I just looked and was like, hey, this is different than it was. And no wonder we're happier, you know, what a difference it makes.
Because you actually worked at it as a couple.
Yeah. Yeah.
That and that was probably, I'm assuming, a conscious decision to continue to work at it instead of let it slide backwards. Any relationship, I don't
Yeah.
just mean specifically you, but any couple, um, if they don't specifically choose to keep
Mm.
that relationship pliable and edifying to one another, it it can turn into just a sort of friendship.
Yeah.
And
Yes.
And
Yeah.
I'm glad the two of you have decided not to let that happen. Now, I'm going to read what men say to their psychiatrist or their psychologist or their pastor or their life coach.
Yeah.
This is what men say as a whole. These are the things men are asking for. They are asking for the woman to believe in his capabilities. They're asking for women to give them more understanding, more appreciation, more acceptance. These last two are kind of cool. Less chatter and more free guy time.
Mm.
So of those kinds of things, Clay, tell me what it is you're looking for.
Well, I think she's very well rounded. I mean, like she said, that we've kind of evolved into kind of all those things. And so she's really good at giving me free time. If I need free time, she doesn't let the kids bother me. She just lets me go and do it. And sometimes the free time is with the kids. I want them to help me fix something or, change the oil on the car, whatever it is, because I want them to learn it. So I'm teaching them and training them. So she does really well in that aspect, and she doesn't chatter a lot. And honestly, when she needs to chatter, I just let her chatter because that's what she needs to do. And so and I'm okay with that. Spill it all, get it all out. And just all of those, I think that she's really matured in those areas to allow me to do those things.
Excellent. Um, Clay, if you could just look right into the screen and tell men what you think they should do, one thing they could do to make their marriage more solid.
Mm. Uh, really, I would say intimacy with their wife. So when she speaks, really listen. When you hug her, really hug her. Be
Excellent.
present in that moment. And I think
Yes.
that's where intimacy is being present.
Excellent. Excellent. One of the questions I was going to ask you is how you could honor one another. And I think you just answered it. Being present in the moment.
Mhm.
Um, Clay, tell me how you felt the day your first child was born.
Wow, that was an incredible day. I mean, honestly, I don't know how anybody could say God doesn't exist, because when you're in that moment, it's like this moment where heaven kisses earth and like this miracle happens, and oh, it's just incredible. The feeling, I don't even know how to put words to it. It's outstanding.
Jessica, I know that you're an amazing businesswoman. I know that you are a mom, uh, but I'd like for you to tell us what made you step into taking over the children's ministry in a church with all those other things on your plate.
um, well, That was a really long time ago. See if I can remember. I didn't really want to, so it wasn't my like a fleshly choice. When I was asked to take that job, I first said no, thank you, because I had our first little, our son and our daughter, and they were toddlers, and I had already worked in daycare with them, and it didn't go well because I just didn't like who I was when I was around other people's kids. That's a terrible thing to say. I'm just being honest with you.
Well,
But
that's vulnerable.
yeah, so when I was asked to do the children's ministry, that's what I thought of. I was like, there's no way that I could do that. It's a little different than daycare,
Yeah.
but it's a lot different than daycare. But I thought, I just don't think that I should be the one to do this. Surely there's someone who would, want to. But they were sure that they wanted me to do it. So I said, I'll pray about it. So I went home and I prayed about it. And I just said, God, if you really want me to do this, you're going to have to change my heart, because I just really don't want to. And I just really don't think I'm the person for the job. I just don't, feel it. And so I went to bed. And the next morning I got up and I showered. And in the shower, I just felt completely different. I was praying. I don't know if other people pray in the shower.
I do
I
all the
feel like
time.
it's a normal thing, but
Yeah.
That's the spot.
I just
It is.
I was praying, and I had a different heart. It's like I just had a change of heart, and I knew that God had overnight just changed my heart, and I felt this love for the kids I didn't even know at the church. And I just was like, I couldn't wait. I just had this urgency, and I said, I have to call the pastor. I just can't wait to get in there. I can't wait to meet those kids and just start sharing what I know about Jesus with those kids. I just can't wait to love them like I already loved them, and I didn't even know who they were yet. Um, it was amazing. And that's how it started. And I loved those kids. There was never a day that I didn't. I still love them, I still love them.
That's excellent.
They're awesome.
Okay, I'm going to shift gears. The two of you are taking 5 children to Italy. Are we all taking Italian lessons, or what are we doing there?
Yes.
Yeah.
Separately, Clay takes
Yes.
his lessons separately. I'm not sure why, but I didn't bother him about it. But yeah, the kids and I take our lessons as part of our school day. We get together, and the little kids don't like the lessons very much, but they're picking them up easier, I think, than the Jake and Abby and I. But it's fun, and we're learning, and I feel like we're gonna get over there and still not really know what they're saying, but immersing ourselves in their culture hopefully will do the trick.
It will,
Yeah,
because
for sure.
I mean, if God called you to it, He'll prepare you for it. He'll give you the strength. He'll give you whatever it is that you need. And as I'm saying that, I'm laughing because I have asked and leaned on Clay 1,000 times already about this YouTube channel and the different things I do wrong and right. Because talking about God is a piece of cake for me, but I have all this other issues. So when you're talking, I'm like, it's so funny how there's never a time we stop growing. We have to be open to growth.
If you're not growing, you're dying.
Oh, it's truth. And the two of you are magnificent in that area. Just magnificent. I know I spent a lot of time bugging you, talking to you, but I'm so pleased that you would do this interview with me. And I thank you so much for that.